Hi and welcome to my show. My name is Alex and I am a bootstrap startup founder. I cover the most interesting topics, news, programmer trends, tech news, UI design trends, and of course growth hacks. I am, as I said, a bootstrap startup founder, so all I say comes from a perspective of an indie maker. The first thing I want to cover is this new exploding trend. Tools for ADHD people. Even if you're not an ADHD person yourself, you will find it interesting and useful. Stay by to learn why. The second thing I want to cover is this beautifully crafted thread on Twitter by Chanel. She learns how to grow a newsletter and shares the insights with us. So if you are not growing your newsletter, if you want to grow your SaaS, these insights, these tips will still be useful for you, so I recommend standing by and listen to them. And the last thing I want to cover is this new post by Dan on indiehackers.com about marketing, and he claims that growth isn't just user acquisition. You don't want to only get the amount of users bigger and bigger every month. That's important, yes, but you should also pay a lot of attention to the existing user base, to growth, their loyalty, to nurture them so they pay you more. Marketing is not only about traffic, it's also about working with your existing users. The first trend we'll cover is the explosion of interest to ADHD, to this disorder. For the ones who don't know, ADHD means attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. It's a trending disorder among today's modern people, and it's about an ability to stay focused on a task. And it's a growing trend, it's an exploding trend actually. As you can see here on this chart, the interest has been growing since 2019 till today, and it's 5 times more than in the past years. Also, I noticed that the ADHD subreddit on Reddit also had been growing, and since 2020 it has gained over 1 million people. Today we have 1.7 million here, and back then in 2020 it used to be 65 0k, right? So it's 3 times more. So why is it important? First, the market is exploding. It's a big market, as you can see here. If you type ADHD on Product Hunt, you will see a lot of tools coming up. Most of them are planners, and people want to make their life easier by having some kind of planner, having a tool which will help them to organize their life. And ADHD people having huge troubles with that. They don't need a regular tool, a generic tool. They need something more suitable for them. And this market is huge. So if you're a maker and you want to make something, try yourself on this niche. Maybe you know a way how to make a tool for planning, make it more suitable for people who had terrible problems with planning, right? Maybe you're one of them. Maybe you have ADHD and you want to solve your own pain. Now you know that this pain is not only yours, it's actually big. So if you are not an ADHD person, why is it important? Coming back to my newsletter, I have explained it here. It's important for you because the market is growing, and even if you're not an ADHD people, if you're not a person with ADHD, you can adapt your tool to suit these people too. Imagine you're working on a CRM or on a to-do planner or a task management tool. You can align it, update it to make suitable for people with ADHD. Here is one example how you can adapt your tool. Imagine you have a planner, a to-do list application, and you want to adapt to ADHD people. In your tool, a human can add a task, right? For example, get prepared for an interview, okay? And I press plus and voila, I have this task ready to be done. But if I'm an ADHD person, I will struggle with this because this task is huge. It will make me procrastinate almost instantly. how you can adapt your app. For example, you can take this task, right? Get prepared for an interview and break it down with the power of GPT into 10 small tasks. For example, I'm a user, I write get prepared for interview, and then your app gets this text and breaks it down for read the interview questions, task number 1. Second, make sure you understood every question. Nice. The third one, reply the first question as good as you can. Third one, reply the second question, and so on. So if you're an ADHD person and you have problems with breaking down tasks and finishing tasks, you can adapt your tool to help these people. And as I said, this market isn't small, it's growing. How else you can benefit? Imagine you have a tool you don't want to adapt, you don't want to change. You can still benefit from this. One thing you can do is to think if your tool is suitable for this market, for ADHD people. If yes, imagine you already have a very intelligent task tracker, right? You can just change the title on your landing page from intelligent task management tool to task management tool for ADHD people. You will narrow down your audience a lot, but these people from this market, from the ADHD market, will pay much more attention to you, and you will be much easier to grab users from this pool. The second trend I want to cover is this beautiful thread by channel. Let's have a look together. First, this interesting thing. Engage with 10 tweets per day and write 1 tweet per day. It means if you want to grow on Twitter, you need to reply 10 times more than you post. This is an interesting insight, and I haven't thought of that before. Actually, I knew that when I watched the course of Dagobert Rinov, How to Dominate Twitter. He told the exact thing, but channel got my attention again to this problem, and now I'm sure that I need to engage more than I write. Okay, I need to reply more, I need to write less. The second interesting thing here is the welcome email. When someone signs up your email newsletter, you want to send them some kind of welcome email. You don't want it to be too, short, and you don't want it to be too long. In this case, I see an example of a giant welcome email. I would never ever read this. I think it's too big. And here's an example of what I have in my newsletter, and this one is too short. So try to find the balance and make it yours. And one important thing I incorporated is to ask for the reply. It's important because of 2 reasons. First, it creates connection between you and your subscriber. Whoever signs up my email newsletter, they send me email. They say hi. That's simple. Every person who signs up say hi because I ask them so in my welcome email, right? And I reply them, hi name, hi John, hi Alex, nice to meet you, and thanks for subscribing to my newsletter. I genuinely feel I'm glad. I welcome them to be a part of my community, and this is how I establish connection. The second thing is that if you are asking them to reply to you, they'll get your emails in the spam section with a less chance, right? Because Gmail will think that you are somehow connected. You're not just sending them emails, but they want to reply you. That means they want to hear from you too. So it's important for me to send a welcome email and ask to say hi. But I don't, again, I don't want it to be this long. If it's your thing, if you like sending whole books every week, right, you can do that. But I in my email newsletter, I prefer shortness. The next thing I found super insightful is hyper focus on one platform. It sounds so simple and so easy. Hyper focused on a single thing. Okay, it's so obvious. Okay, you want to grow, you don't want to grow on every platform at once. Twitter, LinkedIn, newsletter, YouTube, TikTok. You want to first focus on one social network, nail it down, learn its algorithm, learn how to hack it, right? Build some trust there and then expand. Then cross-link your platforms and grow step by step all your other sources, okay? And this is so obvious, but I never followed this advice. I started to grow in my brand from day one with numerous platforms. Those are YouTube, okay, newsletter, Twitter. Also added my own blog, so I write articles. That's 4 platforms I'm focused on. So I'm breaking this advice, I'm not following it. I believe it's for good. When I start something, I want to be super engaged, and one platform isn't enough for me. I can make my tweets and replies within 1, maximum 2 hours per day. What do I do the rest of the time? I have things to do, but I want to spend more on growth. So I decided to start from 4 platforms. If you want to follow this advice, you can start with 1, and I think for the most people it's a good advice to start small, then you expand. And the last thing I found insightful here, actually I knew that, but I think it's important to pay attention to, it's join a community. Okay, here she recommends to join a community. If you're new, if no one knows you, it's a good idea to join some kind of community and engage there as much as possible. Find friends there. When you're in a small community, all the attention of this community will come to you, right? And if you engage often, if you do it day by day, every week at least, people will start recognizing you. You will become one of them, and it will be much easier to make connections, make new friends. Then you can move them to Twitter, ask to follow each other, and therefore get some fans in Twitter. Okay, so if you're completely a beginner, if you have 15 followers or 100 or less, it's a good idea to start with a community. There is actually a even better advice. Launch your own community. This is what I did a couple of years ago. Here I launched my community called Solo Founders on Telegram. I just posted the link on indiehackers.com. I said, hey guys, who wants to join my community? And as you can see, a lot of people joined. Like at the beginning it was 100, but it has grown to 600. That's a lot of people. All of them are makers. All of them are my friends. And why I decided to start my own community rather than join an existing? That's simple, because in your own community you are a leader, right? You are the person who has all the rights, who are respectful by default, because you are the creator, the owner. So it's much easier to build trust, build reputation, build connection, build new friends, make friends in a place where you are an organizer, there you are the owner, or at least an admin or a moderator, right? So I decided to do this. It was my shortcut and it worked extremely well. A lot of people know me as a founder of this small community. It's really tight and cozy, and also you can join. It's free and open, and it definitely boosted my web presence and helped me to grow my personal brand and reputation. Okay, let's jump to the third thing I want to cover today. It's this post by Dan on indiehackers.com. You will find the link in the description. It's about growth, right? The growing of your product. And there is one simple idea. You don't want only to grow the number of your users. You also want to grow the conversion rate, right? You want the existing users to pay you more, to do more for your business. And this is as important as growing, as getting more users. You don't pour water into a leaking bucket. First, fix the bucket, then add some water, okay? So you want to focus on making your landing page as converting as possible, to make your product as easy to onboard as possible, to make your pricing as affordable as possible, so the most of the users convert and pay. And only then you should focus on getting more and more people, more and more eyeballs on your product. That's not the first thing you do. That's the second. And in his article, Dance offers some illustrative examples of how you can improve your funnel, how you can simplify it, make more clear, how you can nudge your users to make more sales. It doesn't mean you have to spam them. And then says that it means you can find ways to sell more, to build more trust, right? To tell them about the value you offer, to sell the value, okay, so they can buy it. If your growth is stuck, if you're doing so much, if you're boring an ocean but nothing is moving, this article, these tips could help you to move the needle. And the last bonus thing I want to cover is this article by Tom. It sucks that the easiest way to get a 15k MRR is to get a job. It's a short post about a trap. When you earn a lot of money on your day job as an engineer, as an employee, it's much harder to do this shift from an employer to a founder, to an owner of your own venture, your own business. Much harder, because you got used to a lifestyle. Okay, if you earn a lot of money, you got used to a good rent, okay, to a good house, to good products, to use cabs every day, to pay for high quality services, for high quality tools. And if you making this shift from an employee to a founder, you start from zero, you start from the very bottom, and it will take you a few hours, a few years maybe, to get to the first $1,000s per month. That's a huge shift, that's a huge victory, but you will feel like you earn nothing, because in your desk job you used to learn 10 times more. You used to spend this 1k in a week. This is why it's much more effective way to start a business by starting when you are young, because when you are young, you're not get used to the delicious quality food around. You can just eat ramen, and rice. You are not got used to the big spendings. You can use just old car of your granny, you can use public transport, you don't have to pay a lot of living costs, you don't have to pay for school of your children, right? You can, if you earn 1k 1000 of MRR, that's a lot. It's a ramen profitable startup. If you're a young 20 years old guy or girl, that's enough, that's plenty of money for living. But if you're a grown-up 30 or 40 years old adult, 1k is nothing. So if you're old, it's even harder to become a successful indie maker. If you're young, that's much more easier. Okay, that was the last insight I wanted to share with you. See you in 1 week, and thanks for watching my video.